How do you actually stand out when everyone's involved on campus?
How do you stand out when everyone's involved? At From my personal example, I mean, we're at a very small school. It's a vacuum. Big fish, small pond. Everybody's big fish. If you show up to events, if you show up every day, you're like the top. How to stand out from that is it's how you treat others, but it's how you can connect with everybody individually. So it's like how to build that genuine relationship. It sounds like I'm a psychology professor or something. I promise you I'm not. But it really does come down to the personal level. Like, that's how you stand out. And then do you work hard? Like, all the intangibles, but it's how you connect. Like, how I how I was able to scale from not knowing anything about like the professional life to now, a couple internships under the belt. It's it's what you do, your intangibles on your resume. Like, you got to have great bullet points. You have to have the experiences. You get the experiences by connecting with people. But then once you're in the door, to stand out, it's showing up early, staying late, doing the things that need to be done, and like taking initiative. I think the best way to stand out is like on campus, show up and connect with people personally. But like in a professional setting, the way to stand out is be curious, ask the dumb question, and take initiative. Like, do the thing. Hey, Keegan, how can I help you? What is something that is being unserviced that's a pain point for you? And let's take a stab at it. Like, let me, go above and beyond and take a stab at it. So be curious, take the initiative, and just be a good person.
What are the small habits in each interaction that make people remember you?
I think what I've seen, the studies, it's 70% of the conversation is your body language and eye contact. It's like it doesn't matter what you say. It does, but like it's how you look at somebody. It's how you have your body language, hand movement, being confident, knowing what you're gonna say, and thinking it through before you say it. Those are like the easy things you can do. So look at them in their eyes, but don't be overbearing with it. Talk with your hands, show character and charisma, and then like your tone of voice. All of the things that you learn in like a public speaking class, those do hold weight when connecting with somebody. But listening more than talking. So like what I'm trying to get really good at is like I talk a lot. I talk a lot, but while I'm talking, I'm trying, like my brain is moving. So it's like, how can I think about the next thing? Like we were just talking about pizza shops and shoes and watches. Like, how can I tie this in together to something else? So it's like the back part of your brain's working while you're still talking and holding value.
Because standing out isn't just about what you do, it's also about, who you connect with. How do you reach out to someone you admire or want to connect with without it sounding forced?
Yeah, I think I'd flip that one back to you. You have been better at shooting the shot than I am. I haven't really successfully leveraged my network to where I need to, and I don't know if that's because I'm scared to do it or I just haven't found the right opportunity. Even though, as we know, there's never the right thing. So I'll flip that back on you. How do you gain the confidence and know beat like shoot your shot with Tim Chuisano? How do you get on Nate Spangle's podcast?
I think the biggest thing, you said confidence. If you have nothing to lose, there is no reason why you shouldn't reach out. Like, you have to set your ego aside. No one cares who you are or what you have. So why not go, knock on the doors? Why not make the phone calls? Why not ask for the podcast? For this podcast, I believe everyone wants to feel, important. Everyone wants to feel famous. So when I'm asking people, hey, do you want to come on my podcast and share your story? That's a whole lot different than, hey, do you want to sit down for 20 minutes and I can pick your brain? Right. So I'm not saying every student should go out and start a podcast, but find something that adds value to them, because then they can share it and it makes them look good in the public eye. But also be intentional with what you want. Don't waste their time and you don't have anything to lose, so why not take the message and reach out? But back to you. How do you keep relationships alive when you don't really need anything?
Shooting the little text. Something I've continued to work on. Like we needed to do better over the summer. When we right now we don't have a hard deliverable. So like for example, Keegan and I, like I'll shoot him a text, hey man, hope your Saturday's going well, hope you're learning a lot. Like just actively being like, man, what's Keegan doing? What's Eli doing at University of Kentucky right now? Got to check in on him, tell him I love him, hope all is well. That goes a long way. At least I think, like, life's going to progress. So I think, like, on a personal level, your personal relationships, just quick little connects, man. Like, hey, man, thinking about you. Like, it's not weird. Like, if you have that relationship, it's just like, hey, dude, like, top of mind, hope all is well, blah, 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 blah. Tie it in. On a professional level, how to keep those connections valuable, it's, man, I try every quarter, like top or bottom of the quarter, like, hey, Chris, man, hope all is well. Still reflecting over, XYZ, what we talked about. Man, go kill it and crush it the rest of this quarter. Hey, Megan, hope all is well. Looking forward to opportunities coming up in January. Let me know if I need to do anything in the meantime. So like it's still the quick hits. Time period might be a little longer, and the content changes, but it's still just like, man, I haven't talked to David in a while. I haven't talked to John Doe in a while. And it's like, let's keep that valuable. And especially if you've met somebody like 2 or 3 times in person, like they're going to remember you. They know how you operate, and things like that. Like, I mean, just the opportunity we had at Rally a couple weeks ago, it's like that wouldn't happen if I didn't, send a professional LinkedIn message like, hey, Nolan, love to catch up. We just need to chat. Like, I haven't talked in a while. I want to update you on my life.
Once you've built those relationships, the next step is doing something with them, actually creating and not just talking. So what is the first step in validating an idea?
I like collaboration. I think it's a gift and a curse. I enjoy, telling people, hey, let's think this through. Let's talk about it. I want to hear your thoughts. I don't give them the whole picture. I kind of give them the paintbrush, and I let them paint the idea on however it's going to go. So, for example, with radio, it was like, hey, Allie, like, what do you think about this? Like, is it valued? And like, she's like, blah, 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 blah. Like, let's paint it. Like, she paints the picture of it, how in her mind the company looks. And any ideas with that? Like, well, should I take a business development or an accounting role? Like, give them the paintbrush and they paint your story for you. And that's not saying you let them decide everything for your life. I enjoy making decisions based on hard data. It's like, if I do this, I'm going to get X, Y, Z. Things don't always happen in a plan. Like, plans don't work, but you have to have the educated data to make the decision. So I'm big in collaboration. Is this idea validated? Something I asked last week. I got to sit down with the creator of Voicemail, and it's like, everything's the shiny object in the moment. How can you take a step back and really decipher what is in there? And it's, talking to others, really just removing yourself from the moment and being, okay, pros, cons, deliverables, non-deliverables. Like, where can we go from there? But it really comes down, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're doing it wrong. If you think you know everything, you're not. You don't know everything. So it really comes down, when I'm deciphering ideas, projects, whatever it may be, like, I want to have your feedback. Even like example on a micro level, like our class, like, hey, Keegan, I'm going to make this Quizlet. Like, I need you to look at it. Like, it's good for both of us. We're both going to study, but like, tell me if I'm even on the right track.
How can students use their campus as a testing ground? Whenever we had the app, you had the idea, bring it to UND Dining Hall. Let's get some hard data here. And it's also a warm lead if you go to the school. So how can they use, their environment as their testing ground?
Yeah. In college, it's like, it's a playground. Like, you're in a big sandbox. Pilot program at the cafe, it's like, why would they say no? Like, it's a free service. We're providing value to them. So if you're a college student, you have an idea, you want to learn how to network, you want to create a club, you want to have events, whatever that looks like to you, like if you're providing value and it's free value, like it's gonna proceed. Like you don't even have to be RSO to have events. Like as we know, like we've done that. Like you play around the box. Like you think outside of the box. Like there's nothing that can happen that's truly bad. You get a slap on the wrist and they're like, hey, you can't do this. Hey, why are you taking pictures in this podcast room? Like that's not allowed. And it's like, okay, I apologize. Like, okay, we know we can't go here again. So like just be curious. Like that is the biggest thing. I've failed so many times here. Like I've thought, oh, the world's gonna end. I've told you, like there's probably countless of stories like, Drew, you're insane. And it's like, it's gonna progress. You're gonna graduate in 4 years. But like fail. Like you gotta learn how to fail. And I think on the campus, like fail. Don't fail your class, but like, does it work? Does it not work? Like technically, we failed our pilot at UND, but like because we didn't end up getting a retainer and we didn't make the budget. But like if that would have worked, we would have been into Quest Nutrition, which is a nationwide company, because we started a free pilot program, and then we could have touched potentially every single college in America. So it's just seeing the bigger picture and knowing, hey, if I fall short here, that picture's still going to go on.
Looking back, where do you think we failed at? Like, if you could go back and change, 3 things about how we operated then, what would those 3 things be?
Yeah, I think I'll give you an answer. Our partnership, staying connected better, like touches, like that's something that fell off during the summer. Both of us super busy, like there's not an excuse for that. So I think learning how to be a professional, but also like, dude, we're friends. Like at the end of the day, like I need to check in. Like it's realized me, I need to like check in with my buddies more from back home. Like that's my biggest takeaway. And then I'll give you like 3 of our business takeaways. I think marketing, like we could have flipped it better. Like we were really just mom and pop coffee shops, libraries, like these one-off small businesses. I don't even think any of them had multiple locations. So trying to break into something a little bit bigger, the worst they could have said is no. So trying to scale within the business, that's like reaching out to a business that business was scalable. We were kind of reaching out to non-scalable businesses, if that makes sense. And then our overhead was just really high. That's something, that's probably why, dude, we sold a company. Like we didn't fail, but our overhead was so high, as you know. Like how could have it couldn't have stayed sustainable and valuable forever. Like it either would have sold or it would have gone. Like we would have had to have 15 companies on a retention contract on a monthly basis to like start really going. It's like that model of it sucked. And that's why we incorporated NFC chips. We cut, the iPad cost, but it's like our software was just expensive. And then the third thing, if we could have changed, I wish our team was larger in a good way. I wish we would have had more Drews and Keegans. I think if we would have had probably one more technically gifted individual, maybe we could have, worked those numbers a little bit more. Like I'm a big idea guy, as you know, like shoot for the clouds, shoot for the stars. Like if you fall, you fall. If you don't, you don't. And I think you're very like straight line. You like we complement each other very well. Maybe if we would have had another person kind of in that middle ground, it's just hard to find, especially at a small school. But probably those would be my 3 takeaways. What about you? Let me ask a question.
Yeah. Oh.
Keegan, as a entrepreneur, as a 21-year-old in college, you sold a business. What were your 3 shortfalls of the business?
The biggest shortfall was the revenue side. I believe, we didn't have the crazy 10x multiplier, drop out of school, go buy a Lamborghini in Miami sale, but you need revenue to stay open. And I think a lot of people get caught up in the idea of being like, oh, this is going to be so great. But until people actually start paying you, you're not going to have a business and you're not going to be able to sustain it. I think looking back now with the amount of hours I put into the app and for the sale price, the hourly rate is not that impressive. So I think if you are going to start something, you would have better luck buying something that's already generating revenue, already a proven idea, because that can save you so much time. Like that's you're investing in your time too.
Yep.
Last shortfall is probably the people side, right? I don't think I did a great job of managing people and defining task. A lot of it was I expect this person to do something. I expect this person to make calls. I expect this person to reach out to whatever. But I didn't give them, a clear due date, a clear objective. What's their reward going to be for doing that? So it may sound great whenever I'm talking to them. They may be all fired up in the moment. But 30 minutes later after the meeting, that's when the real work starts. And that's kind of where that fall off is present. But you mentioned over the summer we were both, busy. What separates, the busy students from the builders, the students that actually want to go out and do something?
Everybody's busy. Whether that's you're busy playing Clash Royale, whether it's busy you're scrolling TikTok, whether it's you're busy building a business, everybody's busy. And I think something that I've realized now is like, this is probably the least busy, the least, things we're in charge of. There's going to be kids, there's going to be families, there's going to be, deadlines at work. This is where it's like you're free. So kind of appreciating the moment, I guess, with it. So it's like looking back, what makes a builder different than somebody that's busy? I guess it's taking those next steps. It's, taking a step in the leap of faith. It's like, well, why not do the app? Like instead of saying, why me? It's like, why not this? Why not that? And you can do it within a business. Like you can be I think it's called an entrepreneur within a business. Like it comes back to that initiative. Take the next step. Do the thing that somebody else isn't going to do. So that separates the busy bee from the builder bee. If we're going to put it in those terms, it's like, what can you do? Do you have the confidence in yourself that this is a good idea, and let's take the next step, rather than just sitting back and working 40 hours a week and kind of just being in the wheel, doing something with that. And then I think for you and me, the most value, besides selling a business, like it's great on paper, learning the people side. It's like, man, even like, we both fell short. It's like, we're delegating tasks. I'm delegating tasks. You're delegating tasks to me. It's like, well, at the end of the day, one of us just ended up doing it. It's like, man, I'm just going to do it. And it's like, that's not how it needs to work. It needs to work. Everybody has to be bought in. Everybody has to do X, Y, Z. There has to be those clear deliverables. Learning that at 20 and 21, that's invaluable. It's invaluable to see, hey, man, why did we just say, go make 50 calls on HubSpot? If you get something, we'll give you $10. It's like, there's no buying in that looking back on it. Like, how could we have captivated and cultivated that in a deeper meaning to where it's, man, you might not be an equity holder, but it's like, you're building this with us.
When you are building, comparison becomes real. It may be others around you or may not, but even with yourself too. Let me repeat that. When you're building, comparison becomes real, not with others, but with yourself. So how do you, oh my God. Okay. When you're building, comparison becomes real, not with others, but with yourself too. So how do you define enough, when everyone online is always chasing more?
Comparison is comparison is the thief. I can't say thief. Comparison is the thief of joy. I think that's a J. Cole song, if I'm correct. It's like, love yours. Man, fall in love with the process. Internally, I struggle with it a lot. It's like, how can we make this maximum efficiency? Why aren't we doing this? Why are we doing this? X, Y, Z. The list goes on and on. Just a very anxious, overthinking individual. I think that comes with being an entrepreneur. It's like, man, if we fail, like, am I going to be homeless on the street? Like, no, Drew, like, take a step back. But comparing yourself to future self is very hard. It's a slippery slope to go on. You have to set your goals. You have to do these things. Life happens. Like, you can only do so much in 24 hours. Learning that. And then comparing yourself to like past tense. It's like, man, maybe our podcast last week was better than this one going this week. But it's like, man, screw that. Like, let's make the last 10 minutes of this podcast the best podcast we've done. Like, let's get this conversation going. Man, last week we killed our KPIs. This week we're 15 below percentage points. And it's, how can we rebound? What are our steps? And that's what separates. It's, man, we're not going to win at all cost, but we're going to do everything in our power to win. Like, winning is the only option. So we're not going to win at all cost, but we're going to win. Even if we fail, we're going to learn and figure out, the next steps, which is a win in the book. And then comparing yourself to others, people are going to hate people. I mean, I think I got my first couple hate comments the other day on TikTok and Instagram. And it's like, I'm a very emotional man, as you know. It's funny. Like, in the moment, I'm like, man, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I would never respond to them, but it's like, you're doing something right. If somebody has something negative to say about you, they can see the painting on the wall. It's like, oh, well, I don't like the green. I want it to be orange. When outside noise and outside comparison starts coming in, you're doing something right. But what you can't do is look at another business and say, Julia's over here killing it. Man, what are we doing wrong? It's like, we're not doing anything wrong. We're on our timeline and the other company's on theirs. Like, let's do everything we can to optimize radio, to optimize Drew and Keegan.
Angles. Sorry, the SD card was full. So, going back on your own, inner circle, how do you build trust with your team or your friends?
Everything has to have trust. Personal relationships, boyfriend-girlfriend relationships, trust with your mom and dad. I believe in giving trust. Trust is there until it's revoked. When you can't trust someone, that relationship really starts to fizzle and fall through. So like in a business partner sense, trust, it's there. It's trust that you're going to deliver. It's trust that you're going to, do what you say. And when that starts slipping, I end up having to tie my shoes a little bit tighter and do that work. That trust for Keegan gets less and less and less, for example. And it's like, why you start thinking in the back of your head, it's like, why are we doing that? Like, if I'm doing all the work, I'm just doing it by yourself. Pros and cons of both of those. Like, you need to have the teamwork, the outside collaborative environment. So it's a balancing act. But trust is there. And then when trust is there, it's either get revoked or it gets built upon. And then when trust starts building, it really turns into a great personal, professional relationship that'll last for years down the line.
And then for the final question, what is the hardest part about leading people your own age?
The hardest challenge I've faced when leading people our own age, it's the buy-in. Like, why would I listen to 20-year-old Drew? Like, he doesn't know what's going on. He's younger than me or he's my age. Like, why would I buy into this silly idea? Like, I don't know if you remember our first entrepreneurship club idea was Hounds. Like the on-campus transportation, go-kart. So it's like, why would I listen to this big curly-headed kid who's got these crazy ideas all the time? And it's like, well, let me show you why. Like, it's not the idea, it's the process behind it. It's the tactics and strategies, blah, 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 all the things you're learning in class. But it's like, how can I get this person to buy in correctly? And then probably number 2 is the trust. And then number 3 is probably, are they a good person? College, young people, we all mature at different times. How can we build a professional relationship? I think when it comes to leading and, a club, a group, whatever it is, that's a professional relationship, especially in college. It's not personal to me. So it's like, we're drawing a line at some point in the sand. And it's like, if you start attacking blah, 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 X, Y, Z, it's like, well, I'm going to take a step back. Like, as the leader, it's like, man, this just isn't the right fit. And that is the best part about being a leader. When you're building something great and you're seeing it come to fruition, it's just special. But then knowing that you have the confidence and control in yourself, it's like, I need to remove myself from this situation. Like, you see the growth, you see the maturity as a leader, and it takes just as much strength in a leader to step away than to proceed forward.
Many people will use you as an example. You know, if you go into a group, people may think, I'm going to listen to Drew because Drew sold a business. Drew has many internships. Drew has straight A's all throughout college, and that's his proof on why I should listen to him. How can you, as a leader, take yourself down from that pedestal so whenever you go into those groups, you're not, you know, raising yourself saying, I'm better than you. I have all these accomplishments. This is why you should listen to me.
Yeah, off the jump, I think, especially entrepreneurship club, finance club, I think I led all of our meetings last year. It's like, I am not better than you. People, they love giving me handshakes, professional handshakes. I'm like, give me a fist bump. Like, I promise you, we are not different. We are the same level. I'm a junior in college. Like, we are on the same team. And I tell them, like, there's no hierarchy in our relationship. Like, it should not be listen to me, listen to me. So, like, being transparent with them and being like, I am not better than you. I fall short all the time, probably more than you do. Having that, I think it brings me down a level, but then actually acting on it. Not, I have ideas, I have implementations and strategies, but hearing them, being understanding rather than just to understand something and proceed forward. Being understanding, promoting ongoing conversation. I think that's where last year with the Entrepreneurship Club, we did a good job. It was like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, here's my idea, but I want to hear it's bad. Like, when I'm in a group setting, especially in school, it's like, sometimes I say some crazy stuff just to test the waters. And it's like, let's see, like, I know this is a bad idea. I want to hear them reaffirm me that it's a bad idea so I can, like, manage it. And then, if I say a bad idea and they're like, Drew, yeah, that's great. Like, this is going to get us 100%. I'm like, guys, let's take a step back. How can let's really think this through. But it starts telling people, like, I'm not better than you, and I'm not. Like, I truly do believe that. I think collaborative environments are something special. I think it's what we're put on this earth to do. It's collaborate, pick brains. Everybody has strengths in their own categories, and as a leader, finding out those strengths is what I love doing. So if you're in a group, leaders rise. There's leaders in everything. Some people just have the innate ability to lead. Some people learn how to lead. And it's like, as that leader, how can I play to the 10 people in the group, 5 people, 2 people in the group? What are our strengths and weaknesses? And that really builds the sense of a community with that. But I'm not better than anybody, and you know that.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.